Di9 Designs NAOR Series is live at Charlotte Motor Speedway. We're here for what is the penultimate race of the season. I'm looking forward to this one. I am Joshua Coppernell. I'm joined by Jonathan Canfield. John, how you doing?
Good evening, Josh, and I'm excited. A night here in Charlotte, great track. It provides great action. You and I both know that. We've seen plenty of races here. We've both probably been involved in plenty of races here. It's just a good racetrack to go to. Coming down here towards the end of the season, and we got a little bit of storyline to talk about here tonight. There are currently 3 drivers that could walk away with this championship almost locked up right now. And there's still a chance for somebody who's maybe a little bit farther behind to come in and steal a championship.
Yeah, I agree. It's been really close between a lot of drivers. Right now, though, it is Chris Wright who is P1 in the point standings. But, you know, we got a minute left to practice, John. Gotta ask you, who is your pick to win tonight's race?
Well, Josh, you might have said you'd never pick him again so he could win a race. And I'm hoping that your curse does not fall with me. I'm taking that 6 car. I'm taking Nick Hapiak. He's one of those guys in contention for the championship. He's got great speed here tonight. And I have no doubt that the driver of the 6 car is going to put it on rails here tonight and try to take home a win.
If he has a bad race, I'll let him know it is your fault and not mine. But that is a really solid pick. I'm going to go with the driver, the number 20, Hunter Peach. He is fast every single week. I think he's just one of those drivers that kind of goes under the radar a lot of times when we're doing driver picks. I think Hunter Peach, he's sitting actually 4th practice times right now. Watch for him to be up front. I think he's going to take the checkered flag tonight. And that concludes our practice session. We head to qualifying. 22 drivers have turned a practice lap. We've got a pretty good sized field for this race. This is also a throwback race. Everybody, well, not everybody necessarily, but a lot of drivers running the throwback scheme tonight. So looking forward to seeing all those as we get throughout this race. And maybe at some point you and I can talk about which scheme is our favorite. So right now we watch Nick Hapiak taking his qualifying laps. Nick is definitely a driver that has a lot of success racing, a lot of success in the Di9 Designs NAOR Series, a lot of wins, a lot of championships. Currently sitting P1, 2 drivers though taking the time. It's Hapiak and Monch. Hapiak. A 30.772 out of that 6 machine for his first lap. Let's see where he gets at the line, if he improves any. It's going to be a 30.308. Great lap by Nick Hapiak. as qualifying continues. Well, this one, this is not Andrew Chapman. This is another scheme that has the 18 on it. This is actually Zach Wright, the brother to Chris Wright. Of course, Chris Wright being your points leader right now. 2 races to go. Zach Wright currently 4th. His number in session is 47. And let's see, does not improve starting position. And I think that lap was actually a 10th slower than his first. Let's look at my pick to win. Hunter Beach just crossed the line to start his qualifying time. Love that paint scheme. Number 20 Home Depot scheme. What Tony Stewart ran. Gonna cross the line to complete his first lap. P5 so far, 30.4. Full time is still, at the moment, 30.308. Andrew Chapman, 2/1000ths of a second off of full speed. Hunter Peach coming out of 3 and 4 for the final time in his qualifying session. Peach is top of the board, a 30.234. Jared Wilson. Driver the number 21, but showing 83 in session. 83 AC Delco. Wilson takes first lap, currently P11, and actually Cole Snyder overtook Hunter Peach. And currently sits P1. Here's one that we're going to want to watch in qualifying. The only driver out on track right now, that is the points leader, number 69, Chris Wright. I bet it's not going to be too hard in Canfield for him to overtake Cole Snyder with that full sitting time of 30.204.
Yeah, it shouldn't be too hard for him, and comes into this race with a 44-point lead. So, I mean, he could seal the championship here tonight. It just depends on what kind of a run he has here at Charlotte.
Let's not forget, tonight and next week are double points. So I'm not 100% sure of what the point system is in this series. But say, you know, normal race, 20 points for the race winner. Not tonight. It's going to be 80 points. You know, basically double it. And anything can happen. Chris Wright, he could have 2 bad races finish off the season, and what has been a great season for him. 3 wins, a lot of laps led, could totally just go the wrong way and have things out of his hand. P3 on the board after 2 laps rather. Cole Snyder is still your pole sitter, just 2 minutes left in qualifying. Josh Arnold has completed 1 lap, currently P14 off turn 2, and look at that. Throwback. Pencil forward.
And, you know, coming off of Martinsville last week, Josh, we got to talk about something that could be fairly obvious here tonight. We had some high tensions last week. Drivers were getting heated. Engines were overheating. Everything was overheating last week. Do you see any of that possibly carrying over into tonight and next week as some of these drivers hunt for a championship?
I don't think so. I think, tempers were flaring at Martinsville. It's a new week, different track, different style of racing. I don't think we really see any payback or tensions flaring tonight like we did last week. Jonathan Parker crosses the line, complete qualifying. P3 for Parker.
And I don't know the legitimacy of this. I'm just seeing it in driver's chat coming from the boss man of the league himself, Mr. Josh Arnold. It does say, though, the 76 Kenneth Chaney will start tonight minus 2 laps. Maybe some sort of penalty carrying over from last week.
It's very possible. Last week, Chaney was aggressive, and there were a couple of cautions that were thrown on the other end of things because of some moves. I'm not 100% sure. I don't want to speak in any sort of way about that, but it's interesting. But,
as qualifying comes to an end, Josh, you want to take us through our starting top 10?
Yeah, absolutely. So, Cole Snyder, he is pole sitter. Hunter Peach to his outside. Jonathan Parker making a second start. He'll start in 3rd. A strong running last week at Martinsville. Look to have another one tonight. Chris Wright will start in 4th. And then in 5th place is going to be Braden Holt. Nick Hapiak to his outside. Andrew Chapman starts on the inside of row 4 with Jose Ruiz in 8th. And, what is that name? I can't remember. Is that James?
That is James.
James Moch. Yeah, that's what I thought it was. I just didn't want to screw that up. We'll start in 9th, and Zachary Meredith will start in 10th.
Starting P11 is going to be I'm showing 21 in here. That'll be Jared Wilson. P12 is going to be Zachary Wright, Chris Wright's brother. Then in 13th position, it's going to be that 22 with Josh Arnold and Chase McGuire to his outside in that 7 car. 15th spot is going to go to Jeff Lednam with Pacey Wigent to his outside. And your final qualifier here tonight was Rodney Ayers, and he will start in the 17th position. I apologize. Finishing up your field, though, is going to be, I don't remember the first name. We're just going to go with Osborne. I'll get it right later on tonight. And then next to him is going to be Donald Kite. Doug Camp making his first start here tonight in the 77 car. Beautiful marine scheme. He will be starting in the 20th position. Mike Campbell in the 71 will start in the back of the field. And then as noted earlier, I've gotten confirmation the 76 will be starting 2 laps down this week. So he is going to be the 22nd car in this race.
Field is rolling in this throwback race here at Charlotte. See the schemes as they roll on by.
And do you have a favorite yet, Josh, as we look through the field?
You know what? I think I just found one. That number 5, Terry Labonte throwback. Man, what a blast from the past that scheme is. I have to say. Early on, just kind of getting a quick glimpse of these paint schemes. I think Rodney ARC is definitely driving that scheme. I think it's probably my favorite tonight.
I think if I'm going to take one, it's going to be that 54. Wasn't really a fan of Danica Patrick per se, but her paint schemes were also very nice. And I mean, we've seen plenty of other drivers drive that scheme. She's probably one of the more well-known drivers of that scheme, but I love the GoDaddy scheme on that 54 here tonight.
I hate to tell you, that's not really a throwback for Braden Hole. He drives that scheme on a regular basis. But the pace truck is in, and field is in the hands of Cole Snyder driving the Cougars Light machine on the inside. Green flag is out, and what a start by Hunter. Yeah, Hunter Peach.
Yeah, good start for Hunter Peach, but not really a good start for Cole Snyder, who was the pole sitter. As now I see him kind of having internet issues, blinking in and out. But right behind him, Jonathan Parker almost gave that 24 a shot as they came to the line. And the whole inside lane kind of just stacked up, gives the lead to Hunter Peach. But look who's already charging to the front on the outside, that 69. The guy we talked about who could lock up his championship here tonight, even with it being double points the next 2 weeks, already putting himself to the lead here early.
He got there quick. No time wasted at all for Chris Wright.
Oh, and Nick Hapiak's in the wall. Bunch of drivers getting out of the way to avoid him. Not what you want to see early on here. Just you want to see drivers be patient, not push too hard. Nick Hapiak just pushed a little bit too hard there off of 2, and he's going to have some damage now early on in this run.
You see the nose just kind of crinkled up on the right side just a little bit. That is not what Hapiak needs early on in this race.
Yeah, and to the folks at home, it might seem like, oh, that's just a little bit of damage, but Josh, you and I both know with how these cars can be sometimes, that little bit of damage, that affects your aero and your handling of your car, and most of the time, especially at a track like Charlotte, the car's going to be tight now for the rest of the run, so as these guys are fighting a loose race car, he's going to be tight the whole run, and he's only going to get tighter from here on out.
Yeah, it's definitely frustrating when you just catch that wall a little bit. And yeah, a track like this for aero needs a lot more than say Martinsville where we were at last week. This is a different ballpark, and it'll affect him a lot more. We're watching Jonathan Parker though, who has worked his way to second position. Not have a great start to the race, losing a couple positions, but he's already back up inside the top 3. P2 now for that 92, and he is trying to chase down race leader Chris Wright.
And no shock to us to see that 92 hunting the front here very early. And, you know, we talk about guys in the NAOR Series hunting a championship. Well, Jonathan Parker's been doing a lot of racing recently. He is making his debut season in the SJRL MFRD Slide Job Racing series. And also running on Saturday nights as the points leader in the ITBN series. He himself chasing a championship there, but I'm just impressed with how much this driver has come out and ran different races and shown that he is not just dominant in one series, but he's just fast overall.
Yeah, you couldn't have said it any better. he had a strong Chicagoland, actually taking the win earlier this week in the MF Racing Designs Slide Job Racing League.
Yeah, and two ends to that story. I just need a good race at this point. Where Jonathan Parker wanted to, you know, he'll talk about that for a while. I don't want to talk about Chicago anymore. We're talking about Charlotte tonight. But up front, still Chris Wright leading the way. Jonathan Parker not far behind. Doesn't really look like he's closing too much. Maybe not the speed you expect out of the car right now, but you and I both know how this series is, and we're starting off with what I would expect here. Maybe not for, say, a long run, because we could have a caution here early, but this series never ceases to amaze me with how they go. They can go really, really long early on without any incidents or major cautions, and I think we're settling in here for what could be the first long run of the day.
Hey, one thing that I'm noticing right away is 7th place. Zach Wright already up a few positions. He started P12. He was sitting, well, in 7th place, as just mentioned. A great start to the race for the driver of in session 47 on screen, second 18 car.
And do you think he's taking any notes from his older brother? I mean, his older brother's leading the series and leading the race right now. I feel like he's just as good right now. He's just lacking the track position.
I'm really excited to see, you know, how this race goes for him and races in the future. But up front, we have battle for the race lead. It's actually really a 3-horse battle. Jonathan Parker, he drives down to the bottom. Oh, kind of bottomed out just a little bit there.
And his little handling struggle is now going to put that 20 of Hunter Peach right on his back bumper. And don't count out Cole Snyder. He's not far back. These guys get to race, and Cole Snyder's right there to be in the mix. The same thing with Andrew Chapman or James Moach. Any minute now, this 3-car battle could turn into a 4 to 5 car battle if these guys get side by side. As Jonathan Parker moves to the bottom again, you see Chris Wright willing to leave the bottom open and run the top. See if Jonathan Parker can get a run off. He gets enough of a run to keep his nose there, so he'll have a run going into 1 and 2. Side by side they're going to go. Chris Wright to the top, Jonathan Parker to the bottom as he bobbles again. I think he just clipped the apron there. Right now, Chris Wright able to hold on.
As you mentioned, the more and more these guys battle, the more and more it's just going to pull more drivers into the battle. You know, Peach, he is being patient right now. Cole Snyder, I think he's known to be a little bit more aggressive, try to take those moves if he can. And, you know, I'm wondering if Cole gets up there, is he going to be patient, or is he going to try to make the move right where he sees fit?
And developing just behind these guys is actually a battle for the top 5 between the 18 of Andrew Chapman and the 94 of James Moach. How about that 94? We don't really get to talk about him too much. And now he's up here at Charlotte battling just outside the top 5 for the top 5 position.
Up 3 positions from where he started, 9th to 6th. He's having a solid early start to this race. Jonathan Parker still right there with Chris Wright. Just trying to hold on to it. Make anything happen.
Well, and we talk about drivers on the move, but a driver that we documented earlier got into the wall and probably not having his best start so far. Down over 10 positions is that number 6 of Nick Hapiak. That damage just seems like it's still affecting him here early on.
He's going to be under pressure from Rodney Ayers. He's under pressure from John Osborne.
Small battle just around the 9th position for the 8th position, and even the top 10 position. Braden Holt trying to hold off Zachary Meredith and Pacey Wigent, and not just behind them is actually Jeff Lednam in that throwback to the City Banks financial scheme. I actually like that scheme for a little bit of a throwback. Haven't seen that scheme around in a long time.
Just look at the shot. All those throwback schemes we see, and yeah, I did. Oh, trouble!
Oh, contact! That's
Holt up
Braden
and
Holt.
over on his lid.
I believe that was the 83 on the door, but the 21 of Jared Wilson. I didn't see any other drivers involved. Nobody else looks like they got damage out of that. A tough break for Braden Holt as he goes flipping. And I think Jared Wilson is also, yeah, he's also going to have to tow. Insurmountable damage there. Hate to see it for those two drivers. But luckily, I think it was just those two drivers.
Saw somebody else getting involved, and right now my replay screen decided to have some issues. Braden Holt. Somebody else clipped him right there. I'm not sure who that is.
Yeah, that would be the 7 of Chase McGuire. I don't know if he actually clipped him, though. It looks very close.
I think there was more contact involved there.
Oh, the 7 just clips that 54 car with his right side. So a little bit of damage to the 7 of Chase McGuire. And further back, the 81 and the 71, John Osborne, Mike Campbell just trying to check up for the wreck. They actually get a little bit of contact in this too. So a couple drivers involved there. I think it was 5 cars total. But the ones that are severely damaged are going to be the Jared Wilson and Braden Holt.
So one thing I want to talk about here is watching that replay. Chase McGuire, of course. You know, he kind of came in and just clipped Braden Holt there towards the end of the wreck. And, you know, what was going on there is he was running the high line. And it's really hard, when you're committed to that high line, it's really hard to try to turn down in the middle of a corner. And, you know, even if you're on your brakes, going those speeds, it's just, it's not easy. And it reminds me of a couple of wrecks that I've seen recently. One was the Sim World at Chicagoland involving a driver named Jonathan Canfield. Kind of the same thing, is he was running the high line, was just committed to it, and just was carrying way too much speed. But another, in the real life world, it reminds me of a race at Kansas involving Eric Almirola. And unfortunately, that race actually injured Eric Almirola. That's when he had broken his back and had a couple of broken vertebrae, I believe it was.
Indeed, it was. And, you know, you bring that up, and yes, I could speak exactly to what Chase McGuire had going on right there. And it sucks. My situation was eerily similar. Going back and watching it from his replay, he's seen the 54 go down and end up back up, and you just kind of end up in a spot with nowhere to go. especially at some of the speed you're going, and it's hard to get the car locked down. So my situation was a little different. I still feel bad for Ben Lacey, just parked in the top lane and trying to keep it out of the way of everybody else. But I didn't know there was a wreck happening, and by the time I entered the corner, I seen Ben. I went for the brakes, and, well, I might have committed a murder.
The lights on the pace car are off. Everybody did come down and pit, except Kenneth Cheney. Of course, Cheney started the race 2 laps down because of a penalty. I believe he is going to be...
He will be 1 lap down. That should be 1 lap for him because he should have been 2 down.
That's what I'm confused about.
We'll see how admin chooses to handle that if he is back on the lead lap and he didn't actually take his 2 lap penalty. But
now my telemetry is updating. Now it does say 1 lap down. I knew he should have still been 1 down. I was just going based off what my telemetry was telling me.
Yes, so if we get 1 more caution, though, he gets a chance to get that lap back, be on the lead lap, and eventually get back on cycle with these guys or be on a differing cycle than they are.
And before we go back green, keep in mind, there is no lucky dog. In order for Kenneth Cheney to get back on the lead lap, he has to take the lead, which means he cannot pit. Pace car is in, and we're going back green. Inside the restart zone, Chris Wright is on the loud pedal.
Yeah, and we notice a couple of new drivers up here in the mix. The 18, Andrew Chapman, he's up here now. The driver that we're not seeing in the mix right now is that 92, Jonathan Parker, as he's back here battling for the 7th position with that 94 and that 18 on the door, but 47 in the sim of Zach Wright.
Oh, Parker up the apron a little bit, got a little loose.
Yeah, and that opens the door for the 22 of Josh Arnold to peek to his inside, and I'm noticing, don't know when he got it, but that bumper of the 92 is a little dented. Somebody has found their front end to the back end of that 92.
Back up front. Andrew Chapman, Cole Snyder, Hunter Peach, they are all hounding Chris Wright. And you can almost put Zach Wright into this battle here. Where did he come from?
I'll tell you what's bringing him in is all this side-by-side that we see up here as the 24 sends it up on the outside. He's trying to go to the lead. The 18's looking to the inside. And even Hunter Peach trying to look to the inside of these drivers in front of him. As it looks like the 24 gave the 69 a little bit of a shot entering the corner that time. He's going to have an advantage coming out of the corner here.
New race leader Cole Snyder powers on the outside. Takes over the race lead from Chris Wright. And from 3rd to 1st in 1 lap.
And I'll tell you where it all started. It all started right here off turn 2. He was forced to run the outside, and he got a run coming down the back straightaway to Chris Wright's bumper, and he did not lift for Chris Wright. He gave Chris Wright a shot getting in the corner, forced Chris Wright to go low so he could take the high lane and get around.
Now Chris Wright, he's got Andrew Chapman and Hunter Peach right behind him. Hunter Peach rolling that high line. Let's see if Peach took lessons learned from Cole Snyder. He's going to try to power on the outside. Keep in mind, though, that outside, it is going to wear your tires out faster. But Hunter Peach, he is going to get ahead of Chris Wright, staying on the outside line. And I see another driver back there. That's James Melch.
Yeah, these drivers are showing each other right now that the top works if you want to make a pass right now on these fresher tires. But as you and I know, these tires are going to wear out. And I see another driver jumping to the top that wants to get back to the front. That 92, Jonathan Parker. They're almost 3 wide down the back straightaway here.
Parker is going to get himself 2 for 1. 4th place now for Jonathan Parker. And he is on a mission.
Absolutely, and now he's looking on that 94. James Monch. We'll see who takes what line. Parker's going to look high. Monch goes low. He slides up a little bit. A little bit of an arrow push there. Parker's going to have the run coming out of the corner, but how much can he do with it with that 20 car right in front of him?
Let's see where Peach goes. Peach will go to the bottom. So door wide open for Jonathan Parker. He's there to the outside of Peach, and we have a side-by-side battle for second. Peach still has it for the moment.
That indeed he does, but Jonathan Parker not giving up, going to the outside again and trying to force his way into this battle as Cole Snyder actually trying to break the draft a little bit. He doesn't want anybody near him. He's trying to run away with this lead. Jonathan Parker saying, "Nuh-uh, buddy, get yourself back here."
Parker now clear for P2. Snyder blinking just a little bit there. It's not going to stop Parker from trying to get up to that race lead. They're separated by a car length and a half.
And really throw 4 cars under a blanket here as Hunter Peach and James Moach have not given up their speed or their position yet. They're sticking right with this 92 and this 24. And this is really anybody. This is a 4-car battle for the lead right now.
Real quick, I want to go on to a different topic, if I may. You mentioned earlier, wondering if Zach Wright taking lessons learned from his brother. Well, guess who's nose to tail right now?
I see 3 drivers that are actually nose to tail that you and I talked about earlier that we could kind of pick at a little bit. We got the Wright and Kite show right now.
I know you've been dying to say that.
Indeed, I have. And you know what, though? Going on a more serious note, you see older brother Chris Wright trying to hold off his younger brother Zach Wright. And then we've got right behind them Donald Kite, who I've said multiple times, you've brought it up as well, kind of a student of the game here. He's got 2 good people to learn off of right in front of him, and every track we go to, we see Donald Kite running somewhere up near the front within the first couple laps, but we also see him qualify out towards the back because, as you've told me and as many people at home know, Donald Kite is transferring from console to iRacing, so he's still learning as he goes out on these tracks.
And I think if there is a vote for most improved driver, a driver 39 would definitely win that vote, in my opinion, hands down.
Well, and as it sits right now, he is our biggest mover of the race. Started 19th, he's up to the 8th position, up 11 spots, and looking for more here as he rides behind the Wright brothers.
Back up the run. Really, all these drivers from Snyder all the way down to Kite in 8th, they're all nose to tail, practically under a blanket here. This is absolutely insane. Parker, he has gotten up to 2nd, struggled to try to get around Cole Snyder, and I think it's because Cole knows how well that outside rolls. I think Parker knows how well this outside rolls. Snyder's not going to allow him to get to the outside. Snyder has been doing a great job at rolling that outside line when he needs to and really keeping Parker behind. When I say that, Snyder stays bottom, Parker goes up top. Parker's going to have a run. Is he going to get there in time? He does not.
24 trying to shut the door on him as he keeps having a couple blinking issues. You and I, you were involved in the race, but I was involved in the broadcast. I spoke to both ends of the story there when it comes to being the driver with the internet issues and being the driver behind him. Just last Saturday night, we seen it with Fonseca Moreno taking home P2, Nathan Fuller trying to pass him for P2. We seen them actually hold each other up because of these internet issues. And, I mean, we hope not to see the same thing here tonight, but Josh, you've seen it. I've seen it. We know how frustrating it can be to be that guy behind the driver having internet issues. And right now, it's probably what's securing Cole Snyder's lead.
It might be be possible there, but I'm wondering, because Parker has been rolling the high line. Snyder's been rolling the lower line. Snyder just might be that much better on the bottom line right now.
And, you know, we're just making speculation of what could be happening, but there's still a lot of racing left too, so no reason to say that these drivers are pushing too hard right now, trying to lead a bunch of laps. I mean, really, you and I both know you can't win the race if you don't make it to the end of the race, and a lot of these guys, as they battle side by side for P2, just want to get to the point where they know they're going to make it to the end of the race.
Yeah, side by side, Hunter Peach went to the inside of Jonathan Parker. And these two are battling for second place behind Cole Snyder. This is what Cole wants to see. Go ahead and start battling behind me. Oh, someone's in the wall. I believe that was James Moach.
I believe that was that 94 James Moach, as he is now behind the 69 of Chris Wright. And it looks like Donald Kite has worked his way around Zachary Wright. So Zachary Wright put him in P8. Donald Kite up 12 positions now in that 7th spot and looking for more. Up front, Parker and Peach continue to battle it out side by side. They are still side by side. They've been side by side for almost 3 laps now, Josh.
Yeah. Hunter Peach has done an incredible job of hanging on the bottom. Parker's done an incredible job not allowing Peach to take the position, but oh, Peach, he got tight. Started to wash up the track just a little bit there.
And then you've got right behind them the 18 of Andrew Chapman just waiting for a hole to open up so he could put his nose in there.
He's waiting, staying patient.
But patience only gets you so far, and now he's got the 69 of Chris Wright. Just that quick, we've got the entire top 5 practically nose to tail under a blanket right now.
Indeed we do. Parker still hanging on to the outside. Hunter Peach has cleared for that second position, and Andrew Chapman now battling with Parker. Well, Parker, he's got just to the right rear of Peach. Once again, Peach will clear Parker off the turn 4.
And oh, Chapman gonna be put 3 wide. Chris Wright to the bottom, Jonathan Parker to the outside. A little close there, but they make it work clean and away as Chris Wright sets his sights on this 92 now, and he looks to the inside.
I think this is really what I was looking for on the restart. Was we saw Wright dropped a lot of positions, whereas there were other drivers who were just gaining big time, using those fresher tires to their advantage. I think now is when you see Chris Wright and those that stayed calm on that restart really start to prevail, work their way up front.
And jumping back a little bit to a battle just for the 8th position, you've got the 22 of Josh Arnold and the 17 Zachary Meredith trying to get around that car of Zach Wright. Looks like Josh Arnold's going to peek to the outside of Meredith, and Meredith's going to continue to stick it on the bottom and slide up just a little bit, almost contact as those guys are side by side. Now throw the 23 of Jose Ruiz in this battle.
Happened, but I noticed way up front that 69 Chris Wright, he got squirrely and went down to the apron on the back straightaway. I went back up front. We got 2x2. Chris Wright to the inside. Hunter Peach, Chapman, and Parker were battling side by side. Chapman and Parker, they've gone single file, but Peach and Wright are still side by side here, battling for the second position. Chris Wright, he is on a mission.
And And as you've seen right there, the field went around a slower lap car. That is the 77 of Doug Camp. We hate to see that in his debut here tonight, but still out there logging laps, 3 laps down right now, and trying to put his best effort out as he can.
Hunter Peach to the outside of Cole Snyder. Peach will take the race lead from Snyder, rather. And this opens up the door for Chris Wright to go to the outside, try and get around Snyder.
And, you know, something I noticed there, Chris Wright actually jumping to the outside. He ran higher than I've seen any car run. He goes all the way up to the wall practically before he starts turning it down the track and getting a run off the corner.
Look at this. We got 6 drivers all right here. And Donald Kite, he's hanging on to it. Donald Kite is battling with one of the best we have seen on JCTV and Jonathan Parker to get into the top 5. This is insane.
Yeah, and that time at the stripe, give the spot to Donald Kite as he clears now in the corner. And he sets his sight on that 18. Donald Kite is climbing here, slowly and methodically to the front. And I would not be surprised if that 39 had the pace to get all the way to the front and lead some laps here.
This race continues. We have 89 laps to go from Charlotte. And let's see here. We got a side-by-side. We did, but right back up to the front we go as Chris Wright to the inside of Hunter Peach. Peach able to clear.
And I'm not sure how this league scores all their points, but you see how hard these two are fighting for the lead. And again, I don't know how they score points, but I'm assuming probably battling to see who can lead the most laps here tonight, as we've had plenty of lead changes. And you're talking about a double points night the next 2 weeks. That's huge for these guys that are trying to come up and sneak in for a championship. So I think that's why you see Hunter Peach here battling really hard for this race lead.
I'd agree with you there. And our Peach moved up a lane. Chris Wright moved up a couple of lanes. I think Chris knows he's not going to be able to pass Hunter Peach on the bottom. Unless Peach really makes a mistake and gives Wright that bottom by accident.
But as now it went from being a 5-car race for the lead, now it's 2 cars, a gap back to Andrew Chapman, and then you've got 3 cars all pretty much strung together with Donald Kite, Cole Snyder, and Jonathan Parker.
Jonathan Parker was trying to battle back with Donald Kite. Kite held on. Now Kite really putting pressure on Cole Snyder here. He's going to look to the low side. And they're going to be side by side entering 3.
Yeah, and right now with how long we've gone in this run, I don't see the high side working too well for that 24, as he's already ran a bunch of laps up there and his tires are probably used up. He holds on for now, but if Donald Kite can keep his nose inside, I think he'll eventually prevail on this bottom side. As right now you see Jonathan Parker is all over the bumper of both these drivers, trying to figure out who to give an advantage to.
Kite and Snyder were side by side, very, very close to each other. Thought there might have been a little bit of contact, but it looked like things were clean there, but Kite, he is almost clear of that 24.
And this time he does.
These two still going at it. Chris Wright to the inside of Hunter Peach. Wright is going to send it in there, wash up the track, trying to get ahead of Peach. Peach was
I think
prepared.
Wright got a little bit of apron there on entry, and that's what sent him up the track. Seeing a little bit of smoke coming from the inside of that 69 as we have a caution on track.
17 involved. 22.
I believe our younger Wright brother might also be involved as he's pulling down pit road.
And I have struggled to find what happened, but I have found it. It started with Camp just getting into Parker a little bit, getting on the apron, trying to save it. Coming up back onto the track, getting Joshua Arnold and then Zachary Meredith involved as well. And I don't believe any other car got involved in that. I saw one guy go through the grass trying to avoid it. I think it might have been Campbell. But he didn't hit anything. Here's a look from Blimp.
And just to update what I had brought up earlier, indeed, the second Wright brother was not actually involved in the wreck. He had contact with the outside wall long before this wreck happened, coming out of turn 2. I believe it was he and the 81 of John Osborne. They both made heavy contact, and we almost had an accident on the back straightaway before that wreck even had time to happen. And still tracking the developing story of the driver that started 2 laps down. He is 2 laps down again, forced to pit there as the caution came out. He was coming off of pit road. So now Kenneth Chaney going to take another wave around and still be stuck 1 lap down. But this does put him almost on sequence with the guys around him. So maybe if we have another caution, he won't be stuck coming off of pit road.
I'm showing that Kenneth Chaney did come down pit road. 1 lap down, so he will get a wave around here.
Yeah, I'm not sure whose telemetry is correct, but right now, in terms of the iRacing server, it has him 2 laps down.
He's in front of the leader currently, and I'm wondering if it's going to update showing that. So what I'm seeing here is that it was 2 laps ago that Kenneth Chaney pit. 1 lap ago that the rest of the field pit. Now this is only counting their green flag laps. So I'm wondering, was Chaney on pit road just as that caution was coming out? That's what put him 2 laps down.
Yes, that is what I was trying to explain. It put him 2 laps down while he was on pit road. He was exiting, probably going to be 3 laps down before that caution came out.
This is actually a very lucky break for Chaney.
Absolutely. If that caution doesn't come out, he's coming out on a fresher set of tires, but also 3 laps down because he loses 2 laps on pit road.
So let's see here. I believe your race leader is going to be Hunter Peach. Chris Wright will be 2nd. 3rd's going to be Andrew Chapman. 4th to Cole Snyder. And 5th will be Donald Kite. Cheney, Wigent, and Camp. They're going to get the wave around. Let's see. We are taking the 1 to green this time by, so lights on the pace truck are off. See those 3 drivers going around the pace truck. Everybody else going to get 2 by 2. The restart one more time. Of course, this has been the second caution we have seen tonight. We're going to restart 80 laps to go in the Di9 Designs NAOR Series.
Yeah, and we're coming up on just in just about, let's see if I can math, 13 laps, I believe it is, maybe 14 to halfway. So we're almost halfway in this race here. Still a lot of racing left to go, and a lot of drivers still in it. Not too many crashes taking all these drivers out.
So the field makes its way through 3 and 4. Pace truck pulls in. And Hunter Peach. He gets on the gas pedal. Green flag back in the air. 80 laps to go.
Yeah, and a good launch from that inside line here. That allows Andrew Chapman to also clear. And Donald Kite almost got to the inside of Chris Wright. Chris Wright shut the door as soon as he could, but Donald Kite getting aggressive all over the back bumper of the 69 as the 69 and the 39 are inside the 24 and the 92.
Oh, man. Chris Wright. And, oh, Jonathan Parker's going to go around. Parker locks it up. He is on the
No
chicane.
caution yet. He will get it rolling. And no caution. They're going to keep it green.
And, wow. He took the front stretch chicane.
That's a rare mistake we see out of the driver of that 92 machine, but back up front, Cole Snyder pressuring Andrew Chapman. Andrew Chapman still right here with Hunter Peach. And then a little bit of a gap back to Chris Wright as he and everybody around him kind of had a moment right there with the 92 spinning around. But from Donald Kite back, it is nose to tail throughout the field. You've got Nick, Jose Ruiz, Nick Hapiak recovering after early contact with the wall, Jeff Lednam, Chase McGuire, Mike Campbell, Josh Arnold even being involved in a caution here tonight. He's still in the mix. And that 76, although he might be 1 lap down, he is in the mix and trying to unlap himself currently. Trying to pass as many cars as he can and hope he can get to the front and unlap himself the hard way. And trying not to leave it up to caution.
And we know that Kenneth Cheney has the ability to be up front racing for the race lead. If he can get up there and unlap himself, as you say, the hard way, in this kind of rule, it's probably the easiest way. With there not being a lucky dog rule, he has a chance, but he's got a long way to get up to the front, and a lot of cars to pass to get up there.
And back up front, it's a 3-car breakaway, and now this field that I was talking about has actually caught back up to the 69 of Chris Wright. So from 4th place on back, we've got a big field, but up front, it's a 3-car breakaway.
Just behind Donald Kite is Jose Ruiz, who has Jeff Lednam to his outside. Lednam absolutely powering on that outside.
Yes, indeed. And now he's going to try and look to the inside of Chris Wright. Chris Wright kind of shuts the door on him and forces Jeff to check up for him there. That's one of those moves later on in the race. I don't know if you want to be making on a driver that's making a charge like that, because he might not check up for you next time.
Lednum almost went from 7th to 4th in one lap. Was not able to get around Wright. He was able to there out of turn 2. Put Jeff Lednum in 4th place.
Yeah, but as you and I spoke about earlier, how long does this last? We know what Chris Wright is doing. He is saving his tires. He's running the bottom. He's being conservative and saving as much tire as he can. How much are these drivers in front of him burning up? Really, he doesn't even need to worry about the 76 because the 76 is not for position. The only person I think who should be being aggressive in this group right now is that 76, who needs to unlap himself here and hope that there's a caution so he can be back on the lead lap.
Yeah, and I want to bring that back up as well. I was just talking, he had a lot of cars to pass and a lot of ground to make up. I'll tell you what, that 76 is flying right now. He knows the position he's in. He knows what it looks like back there. He's going to try to get up to the front as fast as possible, pass Hunter Peach, and pray there's a caution. And this is going to put him right back in the mix.
Well, in the way they run right now in this pack, his prayer could be answered, but he's still got one tall task in front of him. It's closing the gap. Those three up front have gapped over 3 seconds right now over this pack.
Yeah, and I'm wondering, even though these guys are battling, they're staying single file and running the bottom. Hunter Peach, or I'm sorry, that is Kenneth Chaney, rather. And Hunter Peach is the leader. Kenneth Chaney has been rolling the high line, which is, as we saw earlier, the effects of rolling the high line and being aggressive. It really takes away from the tires. So Chaney, although he's catching, how long?
Well, and right now, honestly, looking at it, Kenneth Chaney's run is kind of stalled out. He's matching lap time with Hunter Peach right now. Both of them running a 33.1. Kenneth Chaney just a scotch faster last time. I will see what it is this time. A 4.43 for Peach and a 4.89 for Chaney. So now his momentum is kind of stalled out. And it's going to be tough for him to be able to close down that 3-second gap. He can see the drivers out there, but it's got to be so annoying to him right now just to see them and not be able to catch them. Oh, up front, though, Peach makes a little mistake on the exit of 4, grabs a little bit of apron, and that's going to open the door for Andrew Chapman to make the move for the race lead.
Andrew Chapman is looking to the low side. They're side by side. Oh, maybe a little bit of contact there. They keep it straight. And Chapman is going to drive it into the corner. New leader Chapman, but Peach trying to cross over. We are halfway this time by.
Indeed we are, and Peach trying to cross over actually allowed the 24 to almost get a run on the outside because Peach had to check up for Chapman as Chapman sent it in really deep, almost in essence of a slide job, but Chapman was able to send it in deep and get it rolled back down to the bottom to prevent a crossover from Peach. And now he's starting to gap Peach, and Snyder is staying right there on the bumper of Peach.
I'm going to do something that I've not really ever done personally while producing. But we're going to take a quick JCTV non-stop. Don't worry, you're not going to miss a thing. Top 5, though. Chapman, Peach, Snyder, Louise, and Chris Wright.
Martinsville Speedway. It's the old-fashioned stuff. It was that throwback to full contact racing, which we don't see much of anymore.
flags in the air. We are underway here at Martinsville. And Parker.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to say it. Field goes down side by side, and Parker getting a monster run on the outside. The outside works here for a couple laps, but you got to get down quick. He knows what it takes to get to the lead.
Three wide, Cole Snyder.
Three wide, contact. Chris Wright losing on that deal. Chris Wright's going to fall all the way back to
this bottom just a little bit. It helps Wigent. Still right there. Wigent gets
Wigent. Oh, and we have contact. Nick Hapiak is around off the bumper of Kenneth Cheney. And looking back at the replay, it was contact with the 00 in the 6 that sent the 6 actually up into the 39. 39 doing nothing wrong there. Out there in no man's land where the 6 basically, the 39 turned into the wall there.
This opens up the door for Chris Wright.
It really does, and Kennedy's going to pull down and set the contact between them.
Oh my!
How did they almost keep it straight? Zachary Meredith doing all he could to wheel it there. He got a huge shot.
Wright is looking. Wright's going to send it. Not quite. It's going to be Pacey Wigent off turn 4. Pacey Wigent with the win.
You know, second win of the season. We talked about short tracks being his thing earlier. We've seen that he had speed in the car. He showed us how aggressive he can be here. And now putting on a show as he's drifting around the corner.
Martinsville Speedway. It's the old-fashioned stuff. It was that throwback to full contact racing, which we don't see much of anymore.
Green flags in the air. We're on. Nick Hapiak taking the race win. Going through 3 and 4. And race number 1 is going to go to Joshua Arnold. He's going to have win number 8.
Tune in on Friday nights to find out. Broadcasted only on JCTV YouTube.
Alright, experiencing a little bit of technical difficulties. I apologize for the delay there. I am going to quickly just pop the logo up, reload something here. But we are back, we're fixed. I have no idea what was going on.
And we hope you can get your technical difficulties fixed, Josh. But as we were on that break there were a couple pit stops. I seen somebody come down. I believe it was just a 77 that has come down so far. But this field has spread out. Hunter Peach has opened up about a 3-second lead over Andrew Chapman, who is under pressure from Jose Ruiz right now. And then not too far back from them, about a half-second back, is Chris Wright. And then ending your top 5 would be Cole Snyder, who is actually 4 seconds back of the leader. So another half-second back from Chris Wright is Cole Snyder. And you go another 7/10 back to Jeff Lednam in the 6th position, who is battling currently the only car a lap down in the 76 of Kenneth Chaney. And right behind Kenneth Chaney is actually the 77, who, as I said, has already come and made a pit stop here and has the freshest set of tires on. on track.
And
But,
9 laps down is that number 77 of Cam. He's got some damage. It's a really nice paint scheme, wouldn't you say?
As a Marine myself, and hearing that he is a former Marine, I salute all former military and all current as well. So I love the scheme.
Right here we have a battle. This is Jose Ruiz, Andrew Chapman, and Chris Wright, all battling for second position. And I see Ruiz and Wright able at the top. Chapman stuck on the bottom, but Camp, he's going to be there on the outside here. It's just blowing past Chapman. And Chapman actually is going to come down pit road.
First of our lead lap cars to peel off to pit lane is going to be Chapman. We've seen him do this a couple times this season with these long runs. He's normally the first one to peel off. Sometimes it works out for him, sometimes it doesn't. We're going to see how it pays off for him here tonight.
Back here, we got a big battle. 5 cars. All under a blanket. 4 of them battling for position. The other one, the M&M's machine. That is kind of Cheney, of course. 1 lap down, starting the race 2 laps down. Just trying to hold on. As you mentioned earlier, Nick Hapiak is making his way back towards the front. Right now, 67 is the last car in this gap. Or not gap, but group, rather. Led by Jeff Lednam, Donald Kite, Snyder, and Nick Hapiak.
Yeah, and guy I'm still impressed with, who is our biggest mover of the race, is going to be that 39 of Donald Kite. But not too far in front of him is Jeff Lednam, who we've seen making moves earlier on in this run and showing that he has speed. Sitting in the 4th spot, he started 15, just 4 spots ahead of that 39 car.
Lednam having himself a great race so far. I am pretty impressed with how he's doing tonight. But Cheney looking to the inside again, not for position, but this could very well drag Donald Kite along there trying to make a pass on Lednam. Kite goes back to the high side, and Kite's actually going to stay on the high side. Kite will clear Cheney, and now Kite is right there on the back bumper of Lednam. Where does Kite go? He stays to the outside.
And he's going to try and make a power move here off of 2. He pinches that 37 down tight to the bottom, which in turn, if he does it the correct way, which he did, allows him to get a huge power move off the top.
And that was a great move by Donald Kite. Put him in the 4th position now. Donald Kite, his best finish on the iRacing side of things in the NAOR Series is 4th position. I think he has a chance where he might score his first top 3 tonight.
And correct me if I'm wrong here, Josh, but I believe that 4th place finish came at a road course in Suzuka, correct?
I believe that is correct, yes.
So this would be, tonight, I believe he's already setting himself up for his best oval finish in this series on iRacing.
Real quick, Hunter Peach brought it down pit road. He's going to start, or well, not start the pit cycles. We saw another driver already do that, but Peach comes down. That hands the lead to Ruiz. So Ruiz in second, Chris Wright third.
Oh, an important note here. I'm not sure if that 39 got it slowed down. He's bringing it down pit road, though. Not sure if he got it slowed down in time. Might be a costly mistake here by Donald Kite.
Take a look here. Right sides go up on that 39 machine. Down, go to the left. Let's see if he rolls on the jack. He does. No issues getting into a stop or into pit road. Donald Kite will be off and away. And as long as there's no issues exiting, he will have no penalty. So the way iRacing works, in case you're not familiar, is where in actual NASCAR, if you are caught speeding even on entry, you find out basically after your stop is done, you have to re-come down pit road. In iRacing, if you are caught speeding on entry, it'll catch you right then and there. It'll hold you in your box for, I believe it is 40 seconds. So you don't have to go down pit road. Now, if it happens,
we've got leaders pitting. Sorry to cut you off here, Josh, but leaders are pitting.
That's all right. We will look at the leaders here, but oh, James Monch still having issues. Wow. He was trying to get down pit road. I think he was coming in way too hot. He was fishtailing and struggling to save it.
But huge credit to that driver. Even if he incurs a penalty here, he didn't junk the car. Just a couple sideways drifts, and he saves it and rolls down to his crew. Get the tires off that thing. They're hot.
That was insane. But going back to my point, if you're already out of your box and speed or get off of the apron too early, it will be a penalty that you have to come back down pit road. And speaking of, I don't know if it was just iRacing, because I noticed a couple of cars just bouncing around, but it almost looked like Chris Wright put his right sides on the track before he was across that blue cone on the backstretch. I don't know if it'd be a penalty or not, but basically what the blend rule is, you have to wait until you're past a blue cone, just off the exit 2, before getting back out onto the track. And he's not pitting this time. I would think that if he would have gotten a penalty, that would have been when he would have come in. So it might have just been iRacing showing me something. As, like I said, a couple of cars were bouncing around. But let's see. I really can't get a good shot of that blue cone.
Well, and as they run right now, I believe Cole Snyder, he is yet to make his stop as he's getting past 3 wide right now. Nick Hapiak and Zach Wright both get around him. Zach Wright actually takes the lead with that move. Not sure if he's pitted yet or not. And then Josh Arnold, iRacing hasn't updated yet. Josh Arnold is just now getting off of pit road. But right now, I've got Zach Wright leading.
Yeah, that's what I see too. Now, I'm wondering if Cole Snyder just had an issue. He got up into the wall, and it slowed him way down. He just lost so much speed there.
And again, I'm not sure if this Zach Wright has pitted yet, but he got a run. As I actually hear on the radio, he is going to be pitting this time, and Cole Snyder also going to be bringing it down. So I believe that will cycle Andrew Chapman back to the lead here as he is the third place car bait. Not far behind Chapman is Hunter Peach.
Zach Wright and Cole Snyder bring it to pit road. So yeah, right here, this is going to be the battle for the race lead. Andrew Chapman and Hunter Peach.
Andrew Chapman, we've seen him be the first car to pit road to start the cycle. Hunter Peach able to run it a little bit longer. So right now, Peach has the tire advantage over Chapman. How much does Chapman fight here? Does Chapman try to save his tires and hope he can have some tire left to run down Peach at the end?
Leader, it is my pick to win, Hunter Peach. And a throwback to Tony Stewart. And I could be very wrong on the year here. I don't know my Tony Stewart schemes too well, but I want to say that's about 2005. Adam, if you're watching, you might be able to correct me here.
That could be an 05 Stewart scheme. I believe also less famous, but still the same car. A Joey Logano, what was it, Car Tomorrow scheme, I believe it was.
That is true, from 2009.
The only reason I remember that is because I'm sure you'll remember it, Josh. I remember seeing Logano flip down the track at Dover in that scheme. Maybe not that specific one. I think it was the white base scheme, but a similar scheme.
Thought of something here. I met Joey Logano actually back in 2009, and this was right after he had issues with Tony Stewart at Pocono. I mean, this was the week after they were at Michigan. And I'm a short guy. Of course, this was 2009. I was 11 years old. So I was shorter than I am now. That man is tall, let me tell you. This is an interesting picture.
Did you know back then when you were 11 years old that he'd be a two-time champion?
I did not. Definitely would not have thought of that.
But anyway, back to our race at hand. Trying to see if there's any battles going on for position. Right now, I see the closest set of cars is the 23 Jose Ruiz just out in front of the 69 and the 39 of Donald Kite and Chris Wright.
Yeah, I'm watching Kite and Wright. And Wright, Chris Wright that is, he's underneath Donald Kite. Chris Wright will take fourth position here, Kite, for the time being.
Yeah, and don't count him out yet. We've seen Donald Kite be very patient here tonight, and he's been good long run here. He makes his moves late in the run and really charges the field as the tires wear out.
I'm wondering here if we can get a quick look. See on the left side of the screen, last lap driver's pit. So each 16 laps to go. Chapman 22, Ruiz and Wright 12, Donald Kite 15. So Wright has a little bit of an advantage, but you see all of them are running down Andrew Chapman, who is just out of screen. Let me get him in screen here. And you know, I think it won't be long. Donald Kite will be right back into the top four, as he does have a little bit of a tire advantage over Andrew Chapman.
As we cross the line that time, we are within 20 to go, so if you got anything left, it's time to go. It's time to pass some cars and start making your runs now. As we see, Andrew Chapman might have just pulled the trigger too soon on coming to pit road, and he's paying the price for it right now.
Yeah, he's lost 2 positions, and Donald Kite is flying. Donald Kite going to look to the inside of Andrew Chapman. And they're drag racing down the back straightaway. Into 3, Chapman goes side, this allows Kite taking positions, but Kite right back in the top 4.
And I mean, the tale of a different race right now. Cole Snyder paying the price. Also, like Andrew Chapman. Andrew Chapman coming early. Cole Snyder waiting way late, and now he's paying the price for it. Back in the 15th spot after starting on the pole here tonight.
He's going to get underneath Chase McGuire, so he's going to make up 1 position. It's going to be 2 seconds until he gets to the next car or position. Well, I say that. He actually does not clear McGuire. McGuire's still battling. Side by side with Cole Snyder.
And he pitted with Zach Wright, and Zach Wright is actually picking up positions right now as we speak. He's sitting just outside the top 10, currently battling with Zachary Meredith for the 10th position. So, I mean, the tale of two of the same but 2 different outcomes of a strategy. Zach Wright is actually going to put himself in a solid top 10 position here tonight if he just gets around the 17. And it looks like Cole Snyder might have a chance at finishing just outside the top 10 because of how long he waited to go to pit road.
Bunch was getting out of the way there. These guys, and Wright. We got the Kite and Wright show. Now we got the Zach and Zach show. It's Zach Wright battling with Zachary Meredith. Wright's gonna go to the bottom. And he's gonna clear Meredith.
And we are actually getting down to it here. About 14, I can't math. I think it's 15 or 14 laps to go here. And Hunter Peach still with a commanding 3-second lead over Jose Ruiz right now.
It is going to be 13 to go as they cross the line there. Hunter Peach in the lead, but I'll tell you what, Jose Ruiz has been running down our race leader. Little by little, Ruiz has fresher tires by about 4 laps over Hunter Peach. I don't know what the amount of laps that are left as they're coming to 12 to go. The gap is 2.6. Basically, Ruiz needs to make up 0.6 seconds a lap. That's a lot of time.
On last time by, he gained another 0.2 into that lead, and really the biggest motivation for a driver right now, and I think it's working with Jose Ruiz, is he can see Hunter Peach as he's exiting the corners, so he knows he's closing. He's just got to stay patient here and keep continuing to do what he's doing. But right behind him is actually Chris Wright. Chris Wright, if Jose can chase down Hunter Peach and Chris Wright can stay right with him, Chris Wright could have a shot here too. But that lap by, he did not close enough. Only a couple hundredths there. He needs to continue knocking tenths off of this lead to be able to have a shot.
Yeah, I think 0.6 was too much. I'm pretty bad at math myself on the fly, but either way, Ruiz is not making the time up he needs in the amount of laps that are left, as there are now 10 to go. And Hunter Peach is coming out of, well, entering 3 rather. Coming out of 4 now. It's going to be 9 laps to go here. Di9 Designs NAOR Series race and Charlotte Motor Speedway, this throwback race. The gap is 2 seconds. I noticed Jose Ruiz, he was running that high line, and he continues to do so. I just don't think it's going to be enough. And John, the classic saying, catching him is one thing. You can catch somebody. Passing him is another thing. And I've seen that high line be very successful, very strong. I think if Ruiz gets to Peach, Peach is not going to allow Ruiz to get to his right rear.
Absolutely not. And right now the gap is 2 seconds with coming up on 5 to go. Very shortly here. He's got a tall mountain in front of him. We've seen Jose Ruiz get some close finishes here and almost take home some wins. And yet again, he's in a position here where he needs to chop some time and see if he can close down to Hunter Peach. But Hunter Peach, not in the clear yet. We'll see if this 92 plays a factor. Jonathan Parker just in front of him. Jonathan Parker trying to stay on the lead lap here. We'll see how much of a fight he puts up and if it indeed does close down the gap for this leader right now.
Another question you got to ask is right here, is the dirty air going to affect Peach? I mean, not only is Parker going to battle Peach, try to stay on the lead lap, but is dirty air going to hurt? Looks like Peach going to get around Parker pretty quickly. Gap is 1.7 seconds. At this point, Ruiz really needs something to happen here.
Well, and there's not anything to rule out here. We have seen drivers make mistakes. I know me personally, I've done it before. You zone out and maybe you just all of a sudden wall pop yourself. It can happen. But right now it looks like Hunter Peach has this thing on cruise control.
There are 5 laps to go. The gap 1.5 seconds between the two. So that last time by, Ruiz ran a 32 flat. Peach ran a 32.238. And that time by, it was, again, 0.2 of a difference between Ruiz and Peach. 0.2 is not going to get you 1.4 seconds in 4 laps.
I think he'll close down into a second and have a chance to maybe do, if you could even do it on this track, a Ross Chastain, but I don't think there's enough time left in the race for him to get up there and pass Hunter Peach. I think Hunter Peach has this thing on cruise control to the finish.
So Ruiz has gotten around Parker. And there are no cars in between the two. Hunter Peach, though, just up the road is a ton of traffic.
Yeah, and another thing we really haven't documented is as Ruiz gets closer and closer, drafting. There is draft on this track. If he gets on the back straightaway and he gets a draft, he gets a huge run into the corner of turns 3 and 4. And he could get to the bumper here of this 20 car.
Hunter Peach, a 5-time NAOR Series winner, 4 times on iRacing. He's going to take the white flag. One lap to go here from Charlotte. Gap is just about a second. I don't think Ruiz is going to get there.
I think Peach is on cruise control as he comes through turn 3 and 4. He's going to see the checkered flag, and he's going to get to burn it down. Give it up for Hunter Peach in that 20 car, taking home the win here tonight in the Di9 NAOR Series. Second place going to Jose Ruiz. Third place to Chris Wright. Donald Kite bringing it home. He's going to match his best finish in 4th on iRacing. And my pick to win, going to bring it home in 5th, Nick Hapiak. rounding out your top 5.
Speaking of picks to win, I got one. I got one, finally.
That you did, and I don't think Nick Hapiak's curse is on me tonight. He still had a really good finish for the night that he had, so big credit to that 6 car. Early trouble there, and comes back and finishes with a top 5.
Congratulations to Hunter Peach. We'll get word with him here in a couple of minutes. We're going to let him just celebrate with some donuts. And tell you what, he is doing donuts like Joey Logano does to celebrate.
And while we let him celebrate, Josh, let's go ahead and run through our finishing order here tonight. Finishing first, obviously, Hunter Peach, bringing home the win. Second place, Jose Ruiz. Third goes to Chris Wright. Fourth goes to that 39 of Donald Kite. Fifth, Nick Hapiak, rounding out your top 5. Jeff Lednam just behind Nick Hapiak in the 6th position. Andrew Chapman, after his early pit stop and fading back, finishes in the 7th position. Josh Arnold in 8th. Zachary Meredith bringing it home 9th, and Pacey Wigent bringing home a top 10 here tonight.
Finishing 11th is going to be the pole sitter of Cole Snyder. Just behind him is Mike Campbell. Zach Wright finishes 13th. Chase McGuire in 14th. 1 lap down in 15th. Jonathan Parker. 16th goes to Kenneth Chaney. Rough, tough race for him. Finishing 17th is going to be Monch. 18th goes to Ayers, Rodney Ayers, that is. 19th to newcomer Camp. Osborne finishing 20th, Wilson 21st, and Braden Holt brings it home in 22nd. And let's see, we do have our race winner. And let me brag just a little bit, Hunter. You were my pick to win. So, hey, I got one. You got one. I bet you're more happy about you winning, though.
I'm out of breath, to be honest.
What a race that was. Called the right strategy. You came out pit road just a little bit later than... the guy you were running down, who was it? Chapman? Was Chapman, and was able to get past him. So walk us through, this race. It was green flag for a long time. Walk us through what it was like from your perspective.
Well, just surprised. I'm gonna get hated for when I say this. I'm surprised I did this good. I haven't been here the last 3 weeks, so I was kind of coming here just kind of get back in the groove and finish out the season with these great group of people, especially Josh and all them. But no, an interesting race to say the least. Started second, just missed the pole out there with Cole. He ran a phenomenal race all day. Me and him were up there in the front. Parker was good, but yeah, I just ran up front, tried to stay there as much as possible. Didn't really want to get back in traffic, and eventually Chris Wright caught it to me, battled him for a good, I believe, 20-something laps. I hope y'all enjoyed that battle. It was pretty fun to do. I had to guess where he was running, and then ultimately finally got to the clean air and just kept it there. And was kind of judging if I wanted to pit earlier, if I wanted to pit later, and it was just, I knew I had to pit before Chris and all, and Jose did, because I knew they were coming on the long run. So luckily it all worked out, and here in Victory Lane.
Those last few laps, you were being closed in on by Ruiz. Do you think that maybe he was going to be able to catch you?
It was going to be close. I was wanting the gap from 20 laps ago. I knew it was closing more and more. I knew I had a safety net. If I could get it to at least 2.5 lowest by 10 to go, For 3 seconds, I felt like I had it in me. I know I kind of figured out the car and the run midway through this race. Whenever I got the lead, that's kind of when I figured out how to run better than him on a little bit on the long run to keep up pace on the short and long. But, I mean, he was coming. I mean, I was sweating and just... I knew if there was about 5 more laps, he would have been there. And that's why I was kind of just judging on when to pit and when not to pit. It was going to be close.
All right, well, got to ask you before you go completely celebrate, who gets it done behind the 20 machine?
Wait, what did you say?
Who do you have to think? Who gets it done for you behind that 20 machine?
First of all, obviously, Joshua Arnold. There for me every day. One that recruited me a long time ago, and Zachary Meredith, and all of them, Jonathan Parker, Jose, everybody in here. Great talented drivers. To say the least, I mean, I watched the Broncos at Martinsville. I could say this was probably a cleaner race for the league itself than last week. I would probably assume Josh would probably agree on that. I think we had 3 yellows. Everybody raced pretty fairly, pretty consistent, hard. And shout out to everybody watching. Y'all put on a broadcast every week. Like always, y'all do an amazing job. And to all the people who support me, thank you. And we'll try to see me go back-to-back at Michigan next week. I know Nick Hapiak's a hometown native, but I want to try to dethrone him for him taking the time from me last year. But we'll see who rules in Irish Hills next week.
All right, I'm looking forward to that one myself. That was your race winner, Hunter Peach, getting it done. And as he mentioned, you know, going to Michigan next week, I really think Nick Hapiak's going to be a guy to watch for there. Still not going to pick him, but let me just say, us Michigan natives got to stick together. Will also be nice to sit at home for that one. But, you know, still talking about Charlotte, John, what a race we saw here. What a great strategy by Hunter Peach, pitting just a little bit later, ultimately overcoming pass for the race lead.
Yeah, I think it's complete polar opposite to what we seen last week with Martinsville, where we had a bunch of cautions. This week, only 3 cautions, I believe, and much more strategy played out there. I think the drivers had more fun. I think everybody had more fun watching it. I know I did, and I know you did, Josh. Just a great race to watch. It was close throughout pretty much the whole race until we had that the final round of green flag pit stops, and then it spread out a little bit. But still some drama filled at the end with Jose Ruiz closing down on our race leader. Credit to him for bringing home the P2 there. Not an easy P2 at all with having to chase down the leader in the cars that he passed. So huge credit to him for doing what he did.
Yeah, just incredible job. Great racing tonight. This was a really good race. And, you know, last week, I think, you know, there was a lot more cautions than a lot of drivers expected. I know Arnold was a little upset about what we saw there. But, you know, I think that's just classic short track racing. And we come here to Charlotte where we only had just a couple of cautions. And I think it's races like this that really showcase what these drivers can do, and being able to keep it green, staying clean for the most part, and you know, even like last week was, you know, there was a lot of accidents. I'm telling you, I've never seen on iRacing green flag pit stops at Martinsville, and that's what we saw as well. And I know these guys run a shorter fuel capacity, but it still is more than 50%. And that means you have to have green flag runs in order to get that done. This race definitely polar opposite from last week, and this guy's definitely showed why this league is one of the cleanest out there on the iRacing circuit, or platform rather, and these guys did an incredible job. Well, tomorrow night, speaking of Martinsville, tomorrow night, the Blazer Sim Racing in the Pits News Truck Series heads to Martinsville. I have elected to not be on the track. My hauler did not leave bringing my truck to the track. Instead, we brought the suit and tie, microphone. We'll be up at the booth commentating that race. Dawson Allen will actually be out there racing for what is going to be his last start of the season. And, only just a couple races left over there. Martinsville and then Kansas to finish out the season. Then, of course, Tuesday in the MF Racing Designs Slide Job Racing League, we head to round number 3, which is going to be, you probably have the answer quicker than I can.
Las Vegas.
Las Vegas, that's what I thought. I just didn't want to be wrong. And cool thing about this is it's going to be patriotic schemes. There are a lot of Canadians in Slide Job, and I did see where it was said, hey, you know what, maybe a patriotic race, but you don't even have to be from the US of A to run a scheme. So I'm expecting to see some Canadian inspired schemes out there as well, and I don't know if anybody from Slide Job is outside of the US and Canada, but if there is, we might even see some other countries get some love out there. I'm really looking forward to seeing that one.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too. I already run a patriotic scheme that Justin Burnham did up for me, but I'm excited to see what other drivers can put together. And this is one of the only races this season where it's a special scheme night, and I actually don't have to change my scheme, so that's going to be easy going for me. And much like you try to do in the ITPN series, I'm just going to go out there and try to get the best finish I can and hope that it's much better than what I've put on so far this season. Definitely off to a rough start.
Looking forward to that one. And then can't go without mentioning this series here, Di9 Designs NAOR Series, visiting my home track, the Irish Hills of Michigan. 2-mile D-shaped oval in Brooklyn, Michigan. It's a little outside of Detroit. Off of US Highway 12. I can tell you anything you want about that track, but I'm really looking forward to going there. I love that track so much. I love watching races there as well, and I go there quite a bit in real life. I cannot wait to see these guys go there. Another double points event, be the season finale. So we will crown a champion at Michigan. That's going to do it for us here tonight. Big thank you to all of you watching at home, these drivers, putting on a show for all of us to enjoy. Arnold, Josh Arnold, for really putting together a great league. And I know the one thing, actually, I want to give a quick shout out. I meant to do so earlier. Arnold believes in the hashtag Your League, because this isn't a league that he wants to make all the decisions for. He wants drivers to help run it and help make the decisions. And I think it's definitely an aspect that I think a lot of league owners should go with, to listen to drivers' opinions. And Arnold, I feel like he has it done really well. And it's one of the reasons I have paid attention to the NAOR series for several years, despite the fact that this is only our first season commentating this series. So I just want to give a shout out to that. But yeah, thank you to everybody who puts this on, allows us to do this, and we'll see you tomorrow night from Martinsville. On behalf of Jonathan Canfield, I'm Josh Coppernoll saying stay safe. We'll see you tomorrow night.